This is, in my view, a strike of choice, and it's the wrong choice for our children.
That's Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel last night after his city's teachers declared their first strike in 25 years. That left the former White House chief of staff, now mayor of Chicago, with a crisis the White House apparently now wants no part of. You can imagine why. The strike pitting President Obama's former campaign chairman against a critical Democratic constituency, the teachers, in the president's adopted hometown. When asked about the issue, Press Secretary Jerry Carney, as we reported, said the president simply wants both sides to come together and settle the strike so quickly. We have gotten no word from Education Secretary, former head of Chicago's public schools, Arne Duncan. You remember he's the basketball buddy of President Obama. He was much regaled as he entered, the president's cabinet. He's also endorsed Emanuel's proposed reforms, but we can't find the guy. You haven't heard about him. I mean, what happens to one of Obama's pals like this? What's going on? And why are teachers striking to begin with? Teachers insist it's not about the money. No, no, no. This has got to be about the kids, right? The teachers are upset about a new teacher evaluation process that the union says puts just far too much weight on student test scores. Test scores? You mean you actually want there to be some sort of empirical metric by which you judge a teacher's performance? That's completely unreasonable. Well, they want new job opportunities, too, for the laid-off teachers. Teachers, that is, who are laid off and lose their jobs. They want to be able to keep them on the job, and they don't really care where. They want a system of granting raises as well, based, on experience. You've got to have experience if you're going to be a teacher, by golly gumdrops. This is not a, you don't want to have to measure, again, impact or performance. Teachers rejected also a 16% pay hike. That's not enough. How in the world are you going to make do with a lousy 4% increase over 4 years when millions of people don't have jobs, when teachers already earn 1.5 times what the average worker in Chicago earns? These are special people. Apparently the teachers think they've been disrespected and belittled for far too long. Well, I don't know why they feel that way. The truth is, Chicago teachers already have the highest average salary of any major city. That's $76,000 a year. No. That doesn't include benefits, health care, and pension. The average Chicago family, by the way, earns $47,000. $47,000. It's not just the exorbitant pay. Teachers also pay only 3% of their health care costs. And get ready for this. 71% out of every dollar is set aside for public education in the state goes to teacher retirement. Now, this is one of those fortunate times where I've written percent, but it actually works out as cents as well, because 71 cents on the dollar is also 71%. So when I make a mistake like that, which happens so rarely, this one happens to work out either way. Average teacher pensions in Illinois, about $41,000. The pension, $41,000. Let me write that out. We've got time to write it out. $41,000. In retirement, a teacher makes almost as much as a working man or woman in Chicago. By the way, it's the 7th most expensive system in the country. Makes you wonder about those other 6, doesn't it? By the way, they can retire at various ages, but as early as age 50, and at age 60, they have a pension equal to 3/4 of their highest salary, so this number is going straight up. And that's one reason that 71% of education dollars spent are going to the retirement system and benefits. Chicago's public school system is steeped in red ink, facing the prospect of $1 billion deficit at the end of the school year. Now, you can understand why they would not be happy with a 4% raise. Teachers had one of the cushiest schedules, by the way, in the country, working at, one of the shortest school days. Back then, a year ago, get ready for this, 5 hours and 45 minutes. Students now in school for 7 hours each day. Can you imagine this? Can you imagine this? Because this must explain why Chicago students are doing so well, because these teachers, I mean, they've been disrespected. More than half of Chicago fourth graders, more than half, 52%, cannot read at a basic level. I'm not talking about proficient. I'm not talking about being special. They can't read at a basic level. And teachers have the audacity, administrators have the audacity, this mayor of Chicago has the audacity to talk in absolute terms about what they're doing in Chicago. Do you want me to talk about the murder rate in the country's murder capital as well, and how many young people are dying? Let's stay with education for just a minute. 40% of Chicago students, 40% of their students are dropping out. This does look like the crisis that Rahm Emanuel, well, said he loved to exploit. So could it be that President Obama, well, I mean, let's just be honest about this. Is this, in fact, not just a strike, but is it also political theater? Do you suppose that could be? I hate to even suggest such a thing, because that would suggest a level of cynicism in Chicago that, well, it would match what Rahm Emanuel once said. Basically, not to ever waste a crisis. Well, in Chicago, in Cook County, this is a crisis. Could it be that the decisions have already been made about the kids and the pay levels and the length of days, and they're going to come together? But all of this is designed to discomfort parents, to annoy the kids, and to disrupt the system so they'll be thrilled to have any resolution, one that'll come in a day, maybe 3, maybe a week. Maybe they can even bring in President Obama. Maybe they can go out and find Arnie Duncan, bring him in and have a last-minute resolution. So all this goes down so well with the people in Chicago who are going to have to pay through the nose again for benefits and pay that's not being earned by the performance of the teachers in Chicago. Nah, that couldn't be, because it's all about the kids, right?